Hey guys, in this episode we're going to be talking about the NFL, big NFL episode. We're going to be starting about overrated players / teams that we have, and then get into underrated teams / players that we have, and then we're going to get into some of the Week 7 games, starting with the Titans and the Steelers. I think that'll be pretty interesting, big game coming up. Then we're going to talk about the Dolphins recently benching Ryan Fitzpatrick for Tua Tagovailoa. And then we're going to get into some interesting Week 7 upsets. So let's get into it. I'll start with my first overrated team. I think the first overrated team is probably the Steelers. And I think it's because we've only seen them play relatively, easy teams. Obviously this defense is legit, and we can already tell that. But I think some of their bigger problems lie in their offense. I don't think they've played a team with like this giant pass rush that can get to Big Ben. I think that he's had it kind of easy, and I think that we need to see him play with a bit more pressure. And obviously, I don't know how long James Conner is going to last this season. He's had his problems with injuries. He seems to be doing all right so far, but I think the Steelers against the Titans, I think we're going to really see their true colors. So. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't hate it. I don't hate saying that they're overrated, but I think that there's a degree that you can go. I mean, I don't think they're going to win the division. I think that the Ravens are definitely going to lock it up, and I think when those teams meet in the regular season, that it'll show, and the Steelers will lose. However, I don't want to discredit their defense because they do have a top 3 defense, and I think that showed last week with the Browns when they obliterated the Browns and held them to a singular touchdown with that running game, which is really impressive. And the offense really hasn't been that bad. I mean, I think that Big Ben has been playing really well, and I think that I think everything is working. Chase Claypool obviously is a new addition. That wide receiver core is really good. James Conner, I think you're giving him a little too much hate. I think that he's still a really solid running back. And that offensive line and that passing attack with Big Ben is no joke. I think that they're definitely a playoff team, whether that's as a 5 seed or any other area in the wild card. But I think to say that they're overrated as of right now, looking at their schedule and all the things that they've done so far this year, I think that that's fair.
You see, I want to say they're overrated, but there's a degree where how highly do you rate them? If you're saying they're the best team in the league right now, I think you're absolutely overrating them. And I've seen certain power rankings that have ranked them highest team in the league. In that case, yes, you are overrating them. But they are undefeated. You have to give props. Their defense is easily top 3, potentially top 1 in the league. The offense has been doing well enough. Big Ben has come back, and he's actually made a really big impact on this offense. And I can't believe we were saying earlier in the season that the jump from Big Ben to Mason Rudolph wouldn't be that big.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good. But their offense does look good. Chase Claypool, he's good, but I think maybe we're giving him a little bit too much credit. But he's a very good, solid wide receiver. I mean, obviously, the Steelers are known for drafting rookie wide receivers, and they hit another one. I think definitely we'll see how good they really are against the Titans, a legit team. Because the best team they've played so far is probably the Browns. And the Browns, they have their days. They have their days where they're terrible. They have their
You mean
days
Baker
where they
Mayfield?
Okay.
As his days.
No, listen, we talk about this too
Baker
much.
Mayfield will make that
No.
throw. Remember that. Okay?
Always.
And I mean, to be fair, the Eagles almost beat the Steelers. I mean, so you have to think just how good. Exactly. So
Almost is a big word.
How good it was almost. Okay, I will not take any Eagle slander here. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, was that the offense's fault for Pittsburgh, or was that on the defense?
That was more on the defense, and I mean, there are some cracks in that defense.
I think we give credit to the Eagles there. I think we give credit to the Eagles.
Look at that. We're giving credit to the Eagles. I like that. I like to see that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see what they're really made of against the Titans. But yes, I think it's fair to say they're slightly overrated right now.
I will say they're only overrated just because every single power ranking I see has them number 1, and that's insane to me. I will say they're top 3, though. They're a top 3 team in the league right now. You can't deny that. Like, the defense is legit. It might go down in history, honestly. Like, they're on pace to break a couple of records. Big Ben has come back. Like, he's back, and the offense is back, and everyone can see that. You know, like, they really don't have the big names of some other offenses, but they make up for it in production. You know, Chase Claypool is producing. Juju's been kind of quiet, but he's not a wide receiver one. James Conner has been doing solid. Like, this team, where, like, they've been producing. And I think that if there's any line in the league that can stop or contain Derrick Henry, it's probably the Steelers, honestly. So I have them beating the Titans. I have them being a top 3 team in the league, but definitely not number 1. My overrated team is the New Orleans Saints. And, like, people still have them winning the NFC South. And Drew Brees is, like, a million years old. Michael Thomas is punching teammates in practice. Emmanuel Sanders is perpetually injured. This defense, like, I don't even know what's going on with the defense. I thought that was going to be their bright spot of the season. And we can all agree it's probably been hindering them. Like, I have no idea what's going on with this team. At this rate, like, maybe the Panthers end up with a better record than them if they don't figure it out soon. Look, the Panthers have been playing up, and the Saints have been playing down. Like, I hate to say it, but the Saints are in big trouble. If they don't figure this out soon, like, if they don't figure it out by week 8, they could be in a lot of trouble. It looks like the Bucs are kind of running off of the division, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, some people here pick the Saints to win the Super Bowl. That's crazy.
We'll get into this.
Look. The weird thing is that the Saints from last year aren't even that different from the Saints this year, except Drew Brees is a year older and Michael Thomas has been out. So who's been, like, the bigger impact? Because the defense hasn't changed that much roster-wise unless they all decide to just slack off. But who has made the Saints just fall apart? Is it Michael Thomas not playing, or is it Drew Brees getting older and he can't make some of those throws anymore? Or is it that he can't throw to Michael Thomas? Either way, I think that they've just been a tremendous disappointment because I had them winning the NFC South. I mean, the NFC. I didn't have the Seahawks. But I had them, like, in that game. So, yeah, I mean, I definitely see Tampa Bay looking much better right now. Much better defense. Probably the best defense in the NFC South, for sure. Probably in, like...
Definitely the best defense in the NFC South.
Maybe, like, in the whole NFC.
No, Falcons.
No, not in the NFC.
Falcons.
In the NFC
You know what?
South,
I'm gonna say the NFC, the entire NFC, they have the best defense. I would go as far as to say that because their linebacker core is elite. They have great pass rushers. They have a really strong secondary. I think that we really saw that against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers has been having a great season, top 5 quarterback this season, and I think that the fact that they shut them down like that, I like Tampa Bay much more than the Saints.
Interesting. I was gonna say that my overrated team was gonna be the Bucs. So
wow.
I'm glad that this is going on. I don't
contradicting me. That's right.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting discussion. I know that we had it before the season started, but looking at it now, I don't know how you can say that the Saints offense has really underperformed. I mean, they've scored 30 points in all of their games except for one. And that's without Michael Thomas. And you still have Alvin Kamara, who is the best running back in the league as of this year, besides Derrick Henry, I guess. And if you want to talk about a complete running back, because, I mean, Derrick Henry's a workhorse, but he's not there in the receiving game. If you want to talk from a holistic perspective and receiving game, since C-Mac has been playing, I think Kamara is the best total running back in the league. The defense, though, has been the problem. And to be honest, I don't know why. I mean, look, you want to talk about the roster and how it hasn't changed from last year. I was really confused as to why they have been underperforming. I mean, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year because that defensive roster was so impressive. And the fact that they're underperforming and they're allowing teams to score in the high 20s to high 30s against Green Bay, I mean, it's been really weird. And now talking about the Bucs, I'm just not that high on the offense, honestly. I feel like the AB signing really isn't going to make that big of a difference. If this team was like 2016 and you had Gronk and Brady and AB there, then I would think that this team is really good. I will say their defense is one of the best in the league, at least from a roster perspective. But I mean, apparently I can't say that that makes a good defense anymore if we're looking at what the Saints have done. But this offense is where it really worries me. I'm worried Tom Brady isn't playing as well as he should. He's had a good few weeks, but, it's kind of been up and down. The run game has been solid. I don't know if Ronald Jones is a guy who can really carry a running game, and I don't know how good Fournette's going to be. And that wide receiver room just leaves me with a lot of questions. I mean, they have a lot of playmakers, but can they produce? And I think that they've been good so far, but I think that Bears game showed some really big flaws in this team. And I know we're not talking about the Bears, and I'm not a big fan of the Bears either, and that's why I'm kind of worried, is because Nick Foles continues to outplay Tom Brady, and I don't think that Bears team is as good. So, I don't know. I'm a little worried about the NFC South as a whole.
I was also going to pick the Bucs to be my overrated team, so I'll just address the Bucs and the Saints really quickly. The Bucs, people are saying this AB signing somehow makes them a Super Bowl contender or something. I don't see how it changes their team at all. The offense hasn't been great, and I don't think the AB signing, with as much talent as he has, I mean, he's supposed to, people were saying, oh my gosh, the Bucs offense is so stacked. Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Gronk, OJ Howard, Ronald Jones. Signing AB is not going to do so much to help the offense there. And I'll admit, the defense is very, very good. I don't know about best in the NFC, but the defense is very, very good. I do think that game against the Packers was a little bit of a fluke. There were two plays that turned the whole momentum on its side. Everything was going Packers, and then everything went the Bucs away for the rest of the game. I think they'll probably make the playoffs at this point because the whole NFC South is just underperforming. But I think we could see them going out first or second round. I don't think they make the conference finals, honestly. And the Saints, it's interesting. I mean, you're right that they have scored 30-plus in every game except against the Raiders. But it's just different, It's a grind to get all those points. I think once MT comes back, this offense will run more smoothly. And yes, most of their problems are on the defensive side, 100%. And, I mean, that is a little bit curious. I don't know why. Marshawn Lattimore, Cam Jordan. I mean, they have playmakers there. Why are they underperforming? I don't know. Hopefully they can right the ship. I do think MT coming back will actually be a big help for them. But we'll see how it goes for them. Right now, Bucs are definitely the favorites to win that division. But I do think they're a little bit overrated.
I want to ask you something, Benji, because you were saying that, there's no way the Saints' offense is underperforming because they put up 30 in all their games, whatever. Who do you think that's on, that they're scoring so much? Because I think it's all on Kamara, honestly. I don't think Breeze has been a factor at all in that offense.
I think Breeze is a factor because Breeze has a noodle arm because he's 40, and you need Michael Thomas to run slants. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, we knock on Michael Thomas. I mean, his route tree isn't as expansive, although he's still a good route runner, and he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. But you need that kind of short to intermediate passing attack to make this offense work because Drew Brees is not the quarterback who's going to launch it 50 yards down the field. I mean, we've seen him try to do it this year, and it just doesn't work. And the wide receivers that they have.
You think if Michael Thomas comes back, it completely changes the offense up, and Drew Brees is suddenly that guy?
I don't think Drew Brees is going to be that guy ever again. But I think Drew Brees has been severely underperforming this year. And I think part of that is because he doesn't have the security blanket of Michael Thomas. I mean, it reminds me of Tom Brady and Julian Edelman. It's just that kind of connection that is in the short to intermediate passing game that is a bailout. You can use him on third downs. You can use it to get into good situations. In the red zone, too, it really works. I just think that it opens up the offense a lot more. It might even make Kamara better. I mean, I know he's not going to be getting as many touches with MT, but I think Michael Thomas coming back, I know he just got injured again, and that's really disappointing, but him coming back is going to have a really big impact on the offense overall.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys picked the Saints to be in the Super Bowl, honestly. You should have picked the Cowboys like me.
Should put the Seahawks. I would like to say that so far my Seahawks prediction of them going 16-0 so far is not
5 games.
wrong.
It's been 5
So
games.
far.
5 games.
It's
So
been 5
far.
games.
What
I wouldn't
happens
be
when they
surprised if
face
they
a
lose this
real
week.
offense, Riley?
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
They
What happens when they face the Eagles?
They've
That's the
played
real
a
question.
top 2 offense already in the Patriots, but we don't need to get
Stop
into
it.
that.
What?
Stop it, stop it, stop
No,
it,
that was a
stop it.
joke. That was a joke.
Okay,
That was a
okay,
joke.
okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm gonna say someone who's a little underrated to me now, and I realized this right before we started recording this podcast because I said his name, and I thought this was an easy top 5 quarterback, but my fellow podcast mates did not agree with me. Deshaun Watson
Oh,
is
gosh.
probably the best person to scramble in pocket that I'm watching this year.
Russell Wilson has entered the chat.
Russell Wilson.
Mhm.
I
can't
actually,
believe
you know
you're
how much
saying
of
that right
you know
now.
how much of a fan I am of Russell Wilson, but Deshaun Watson.
But apparently you're not a fan of him enough, I guess.
But Deshaun
If you
Watson,
think that's-
I watch him play. I don't know how he makes these throws because he's like weaving and bobbing. He looks like Floyd Mayweather in the pocket. He's just making everything happen. He's making everything happen. You know, his offensive line is tumbling, but he makes a huge throw to Darren Fells. I think it was like last week, like just a laser pass, touchdown. This guy is electrifying. I love watching him play. And I think if he had D-Hop, we would be easily saying he's top 3 in the league right now. You know, taking away, yes. You know, taking someone like D-Hop, who's making Kyler Murray look really good now, I mean, it makes me even more mad at Bill O'Brien for taking this from Deshaun Watson.
Well, he's not there anymore, so we don't have to worry about him.
Yeah, and so
But-
you know what? He's been playing better when Bill O'Brien's not there. You know, Brandon Cooks has been playing better, and he's had someone to throw to. And I think the disrespect that Deshaun Watson gets is just insane because he's so talented. And I don't even talk about quarterbacks like this. I
Can we
talk
play a
about
little
him like
game?
this.
Can we play a little game? I'm going to play a little game here, and I'm going to name 9 quarterbacks in the league this season that I think are better than Deshaun Watson, and I want to hear if you guys agree with me or not. It's fine to say Deshaun's top 10. I wouldn't put him anywhere above that. Not top 9, not top 8. I mean, maybe debatable, but these 9 I think have had a better season. So, number 1, Josh Allen.
Sure.
I agree.
Okay.
But Riley, you don't. Okay.
Riley, you disagree?
Riley does not agree.
Yeah,
Riley disagree. Okay.
disagree.
This one I don't think based off of individual performance, but based off of a season and a team performance.
Disagree.
big-
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually disagree with that.
Okay, that's fair. I get that. I just think that 1 in 5 versus 5.
That
in
one's
is-
close. That one's close. Definitely.
Yeah.
But,
Lamar.
Disagree.
This season alone,
I would say that one's a little
Just
debatable
last
too.
season, I would
I
say
might-
Lamar.
debatable
I
too.
might disagree.
Last season, Lamar was the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
I
this
might disagree on
season-
that one.
that's
Deshaun
fine.
Watson.
I think he brings something. I think his scrambling ability, not his improvisation ability in the pocket. I think Deshaun is better than him in that instance. But his scrambling, I mean, what he did against the Eagles, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
That was very sad.
And I think that
No, it
dynamic
wasn't.
ability is better. Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah. You can't
Yeah,
debate
I
that.
agree.
Ryan
I agree.
Tannehill has been going
Oh,
crazy.
I should have said Ryan Tannehill for overrated. But
No.
That's fine. I think Derrick Henry totally carries that offense, but a product of Derrick
Tannehill
Henry
has
carrying
made
that
the
up.
throws. Tannehill
Exactly,
has made
that's
the
what I'm
throws.
saying.
he makes
When
the
you
throw.
put
Tannehill is
Tannehill-
what you guys want Baker Mayfield to be.
Okay, we're not going to talk about this. Patrick Mahomes. I hope that that's easy.
Yes.
Everyone says
Yeah, I agree.
What? Yo,
I
Thank
said
you almost
God,
said
I
Riley.
said agree. I said agree.
Whatever. Okay.
This one's a little iffy. I don't know exactly if I think that this is right or not, but Derek Carr, I'm not 100% on this.
Disagree.
No.
I'll
I
agree.
would say disagree too.
I'd agree.
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
agree.
of course,
I
Jake
would
would
agree.
agree.
Bro,
Um,
Derek Carr has been good this season.
He's been
made
good.
the plays. Did Deshaun Watson beat the Chiefs? No. Derek Carr beat the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
and that's
That's
why I
a
put
good
it
point.
up there. I was like, I think that he's had a good enough year to be in contention for top 10. Dak Prescott
I agree.
before
Yes.
his injury.
I agree.
Before the injury, yeah.
Absolutely.
Aaron Rodgers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay.
Riley,
These two
I didn't
kinda
hear
go
anything
together.
from
Hmm?
you. Wait,
Um,
Riley, I didn't hear anything from you on Aaron
Riley.
Rodgers.
I'll agree.
Okay.
I'll agree.
That was
Okay,
very...
thank you. This is debatable. I'm not 100%. Honestly, I don't agree with these, but I want to see if you guys do. Tom Brady, Andrew Brees.
Disagree. Both.
Both disagree, but Brady's close.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine. I
Brady's
disagree
closer
with
than
those two.
Breeze, but
And then Russ and Kyler are the last two.
agree. Both
I
agree.
agree. Yeah.
Agree on Russ, disagree on Kyler.
Yeah.
Gosh, how? Listen, we don't like to admit the Cardinals are a good team. We don't like to
We
admit
hate it.
Kyler is a good
No.
quarterback. But he's
It's-
been better than Deshaun Watson this year. He has
No,
definitely
I
been better than
don't. I
Deshaun
don't
Watson.
think so. I don't think so. Because
Why?
Kyler Murray stole DeAndre Hopkins.
No one stole anything. It was a trade.
No.
It was a steal, but
It was a
trade.
steal. It was a steal.
Is
We
that
couldn't agree
Kyler's
that it
fault?
was.
Is that Kyler's fault?
It's
Can
not
you
his
knock
fault,
Kyler
but
for that?
it's what he's dealing with now. Like you can't just not
Okay,
throw to DeAndre Hopkins.
Then can I throw one out there? Carson Wentz.
No.
I know no one's gonna agree. No one's not gonna agree. I didn't know I was gonna agree. But Carson Wentz in these past three games. Compared to Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun
Carson
Watson would
Wentz
have
played
torched
better.
the Giants.
Okay, but
Carson
that's
Wentz-
fine.
Carson
But
Wentz-
Carson Wentz is
Carson
leading the
Wentz
league in interceptions right now. There's no way I would
You're
say
right.
he's playing better.
You're absolutely correct. But Carson Wentz in these past 3 games has played better than Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson would have
That's fair.
absolutely
That's
torched the Giants' defense.
Sure.
Like he would have set them on fire.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. He would.
Well, hold on. Okay, just to recap, I'm gonna do a quick head count on all the quarterbacks. All right, that we came to a consensus on, or majority. All right, we have Josh Allen. I guess we didn't say that Big Ben was. That was 2 and 2, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lamar, I guess that was 2 and 2 as well, so that's fine. Ryan Tannehill was a yes. Patrick Mahomes was a yes. Dak was a yes. Aaron Rodgers was a yes. Russ was a yes, and Kyler was a yes. That makes
Not
Deshaun.
by me.
That puts him at 8. And 8 is fair.
8 is
And
fine.
that's fair, but Riley is saying that he's a top 5 quarterback, and that's just not possible.
I said he's
Riley
fifth.
was saying like top 4.
I said
Yeah.
fifth. I said fifth.
5th
I think
behind.
Riley is overrating Deshaun Watson.
Fifth behind Russ,
Absolutely.
Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Dak.
Dak. Yeah. You're sleeping on Josh Allen, who has had literally an MVP year this year, other than that last game.
These past 2 games.
Okay. But, before that, you can't ignore that he had fantastic stats, fantastic.
And I'm not.
really
And
well.
I'm
And
not.
keep in mind, he's been playing the Chiefs and the Titans.
Look, I'm not.
That's not easy.
But okay, but Deshaun played the Chiefs and the Ravens.
And he lost to both.
And
So
he
I
did
don't see
do
the
well
argument.
in those games.
Okay, but that's the Chiefs and the Ravens. I mean,
Oh my gosh!
What
So
do you-
how are you gonna diss Josh Allen for these games, but not diss Deshaun Watson for?
I'm
these
dissing them
games?
both, and I'm saying that I think Deshaun plays better.
Okay,
when the
and in those
weapons-
other 4 games, Josh Allen has severely outperformed.
I don't care about this stats.
Josh
I'm
Allen was an
looking at the
MVP candidate, like a serious candidate for a while.
Seriously.
Yeah, me
He's like
too.
number
That's what I
3.
thought too. But to be
So-
honest, he just hasn't gone through the tragedy.
Stop.
And
What?
Stop.
I'm
Stop.
sorry.
What, the tragedy of
What?
losing DeAndre Hopkins? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. That's
Oh
what
my
I'm saying.
god!
Oh
There's
my
no way.
god. Someone call Shakespeare, bro. He needs
Come
to
on.
write this.
That-
Come on. Deshaun Watson is the most electrifying quarterback.
No,
in
he's
the league.
not. How are you
What?
saying that? How are you saying that?
Because
Patrick Mahomes.
no, not Patrick Mahomes. I watch. He makes good throws, but I watch Deshaun Watson
He makes
make
good throws. He
good
makes
throws on very difficult situations.
Oh my god.
Very difficult.
Let's just move on.
Okay,
What's
listeners,
next?
I hope that you understand what the consensus of the argument is and who's right and who's wrong.
Viewers, you know that I'm right. So
No, but we're taking too long on this because Riley's being stubborn, so we're gonna move on.
I'm not.
So-
Isn't that the motto of our podcast?
Just move on from Riley's takes.
Let us know in the comments of our Instagram and YouTube and Twitter what you think about this take.
I if you think it's bad, I just want to see a bunch of poof emojis. Like that's all I want to see. Just a bunch. Okay. I think that we wanted to cover Titans versus Steelers.
Yeah.
So I think that we should talk about that for a little bit. And I know that some of us were picking the Titans. I'm personally going to pick the Steelers.
I'm the
But
Steelers
what are your
with
guys'
you.
thoughts on that?
Riley, who do you think?
Well, here's the thing. While I did not put Ryan Tannehill over Deshaun Watson, I think Ryan Tannehill has been playing amazing this season. And he's making the throws that he needs to make. He's, A.J. Brown's been showing up. Jonnu Smith. People aren't talking about him a lot, but he's making a lot of cool plays in the end zone. Like a lot of one-handed catches. He's been a real mismatch for teams. I think that their O-line's playing great. And come on, can we talk about Derrick Henry for a second? Because Derrick Henry is just, stiff-arming the whole league. He is unstoppable. He's the definition of an unstoppable force. Like, he's stiff-arming people. He's making these crazy plays. That 94-yard touchdown against the Texans was just – he's a living highlight reel. And, of course, the Steelers have this amazing D-line. They have T.J. Watt. They have all these amazing pass rushers. And we could see Derrick Henry go down. And I think that's the question. Can the defense stop Derrick Henry? It's less of like who's going to win, the Titans or the Steelers. It's like who's going to win, the D-line or Derrick Henry. And I think Derrick Henry is going to win because they can't only cover Derrick Henry. They also have to cover like all these, A.J. Brown and Johnny Smith and Corey Davis. So that's why I think the Tennessee Titans are going to win. I don't see the Steelers offense putting enough points up against Tennessee to actually make a difference. So, yeah.
Well, I completely disagree. I think that the Steelers defense is just better than the Titans offense. I think it's as simple as that. I mean, Derrick Henry reminds me of Riley. I don't know if you know who this is, all right? But he reminds me of Jay Ajayi when he went off against the Steelers for 200 yards back in 2016 when the Dolphins made the playoffs, and he had that crazy year where he had 2 200-yard games, and he stiff-armed a bunch of people. Really impressive, a real power back. But, when they made it to the playoffs with Matt Moore, they played the Steelers, and man, they got whooped. It was me as a young Dolphins fan going to watch that game. I was heartbroken. That was so painful to watch. But anyway, I think that Mike Tomlin and this defense is really impressive, and I think that they are the best defense in the league. And I think Derrick Henry is the best running back in the league as of right now in terms of running, as I talked about before. But I think the playmakers on that defense outweigh Derrick Henry. I think that you can throw a bunch of bodies at him. T.J. Watt is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He was last year. He is this year. So is Minka. So many players on that defense. Stephon Tuitt, just a bunch of guys. There's just a bunch of guys who are really good. And it's fine if you have a few superstars, but when everyone on a defense is really good, it's really hard to beat them. And I think that we saw that with the Browns last week. Because Kareem Hunt is a good running back. But he didn't really play that well, and he had a lot of trouble. So, I don't know. I think that Ryan Tannehill is going to struggle too because this defense is so good. I feel like he's going to feel some pressure, miss some throws. Maybe not. He hasn't this year yet. But overall, I think that the Steelers are going to be able to get this one done.
Okay, so first off, I want to talk about the analogy, okay? That analogy was just not it, okay? Matt Moore is not Ryan Tannehill, okay? Derrick Henry is not Jay Ajayi, okay?
That's fine.
Derrick Henry is up here. Jay Ajayi is down here. Ryan Tannehill is off the screen.
Okay.
Matt Moore is down there.
Whatever.
Yes, that season Jay Ajayi was a beast. I'll admit that. But, I mean, Derrick Henry is just – he's different. I think he will make the right amount of plays. I think Ryan Tannehill will make the throws. I mean, we've seen the Steelers' defense can be exposed. The Eagles almost beat them, and that was a product of their offense more than their defense. It wasn't like a low-scoring game or anything. It was a high-scoring game. I think the Steelers' defense can be exposed. Their corners aren't as good as the rest of the defense is. Like, we know the linebacking core is amazing, although Devin Bush, I believe, is out for the year.
Yep.
The D-line is fantastic. That could be like the immovable object to stop the unstoppable force. But I think the Titans will put up enough points. I want to talk about the other side, though. I think Big Ben is going to cost them this game. Big Ben has not really faced too much pressure so far. And Titans D-line isn't anything like super special or anything. Jadeveon Clowney, I do believe, is overrated. However, he does cause pressures to happen, and he does get to the quarterback. He does get the ball out of the quarterback's hands early. And I think if they rough up Big Ben a little bit, some turnovers start to get produced. And I don't think the Steelers' offense is good enough to sustain them winning. I think the Titans' offense is good enough, and they will make enough plays. And I believe I think Big Ben is going to cost them this game ultimately.
Good take.
Look,
I think that's fair.
it's very like I'm picking the Steelers, but I agree with Jake that like that analogy makes no sense, Benji. I'm sorry.
No, I was kind of reaching there.
Yeah.
I was kind of reaching a little bit.
Like Riley's point was that like they have to stop Derrick Henry, and then like on top of that, Corey Davis. Like, oh no,
Not good. Okay.
what will a historic
Brown.
defense
Exactly.
like
That's what I was saying.
Pittsburgh's
That's what I was saying.
do when they
Right.
have to focus on both Derrick Henry and Jonnu Smith? Oh no, my heavens! God, Riley, come on, man. Look, it's very simple to me. The Texans are not a good team, and they took the Titans to overtime. Were it not for A.J. Brown heroics late game, the Texans might have won that game.
And
The
there.
Steelers' defense and offense is much better than the Texans.
Steelers almost
I'm
lost
rolling-
to the
I'm
Eagles.
rolling-
But
Jake, why?
Jake,
are
you don't want
I'm
to talk
sorry,
about the
I'm
Eagles
sorry.
after Thursday
Why are you
night.
saying that?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
don't.
sorry.
You don't want to go there. Look, I love Derrick Henry. I love Ryan Tannehill. I've been saying like for months now that Ryan Tannehill is a great quarterback. But they're not beating the Steelers. I'm sorry. The Steelers right now have an okay shot at going to the Super Bowl, honestly. Like they're going to face like I don't know what they're going to look like against the Ravens. I hope they're still at this form. I don't know what they're going to look like against the Chiefs. But in the AFC, I have them as like, second behind the Chiefs. Like I think they're better than the Ravens right now, honestly. And the Titans are just not at that level.
That's a fair take. That's definitely fair. I mean, they have performed very, very well.
Yeah, they've been
To the
playing out of their
point that-
minds.
Yeah, I somewhat agree. I just think that, maybe in the playoffs the Steelers will perform better than the Titans. I think this game specifically, though, I think the Titans will take it.
Okay, I get that.
It's definitely
I mean,
a toss-up.
Yeah, it's a
Definitely
50-50 to me. Like honestly, both teams are
Should be a fun
doing
game.
really good things. Yeah, it's the game
These
of the
two
week.
teams deserve the 5-0. Of course.
The Titans are 5-1.
The Titans are not 5-1. The Titans are
They're
5-9.
undefeated.
Oh, they're not. Oh, I don't know why.
You want to cut that out,
Jake,
Jake?
okay,
sorry.
Jake.
They
I'm sorry,
lost-
use that in to humble him.
Bro, this is not a
They
game.
lost a week to
This
COVID.
is
Yeah.
no.
No.
I guess now we can get into the Miami situation. We got a
Can't
couple
wait.
of Tua fans in the
Can't
house.
Can't wait. Let's do it.
But
It's not being
recently,
a Tua fan. It's being a good person. Like,
tragically,
Being a
Ryan
logical
Fitzmagic was benched.
Tragically. What
this
do you
week.
mean tragically? Just
And-
because he said he was
It was
heartbroken doesn't mean it was
heartbreaking. My heart-
tragic.
no,
My
okay, that's
heart-
pretty sad. That's pretty sad.
My
was
heart
sad,
goes
but,
out
like,
to him.
Did he
The
not?
Dolphins
expect
are
something like
playing
this
the
to happen?
best. The Dolphins are playing the best they have, in a little while. And Ryan Fitzpatrick has a 70% completion pass rating.
That's the only
I like
stat
that a
you
lot.
use. That's the only
I like
stat
that
that
a lot.
you use.
Good stat.
Riley.
Good stat, Riley.
I
Good
like
stat.
that a lot.
Riley,
like
I
that.
know
Good
you haven't
stat.
been watching football for that long, but this always happens with Fitz. There's a
Tua.
3 to 4 week period every year where he looks like the second coming of Joe Montana.
So you
Like,
admit
truly.
he is playing well.
He's
Right
playing
now,
well,
yeah, sure.
fine. But I think
Why
the
bench
Jets
him?
game was the start of the decline. Like he always plays like that for 3 weeks, and then he was trash the rest of the year.
I'll say this.
And I think they
Yeah.
started to see it against the Jets.
He's had 3 good weeks and 3 really bad weeks. And those bad weeks came against all of the divisional opponents. Well, no, actually, that's not true. But the Jets game was not an impressive game. If you watch the game, he was not impressive. It's that simple. You can't continue. Like, honestly, I might have benched Fitz anyway because you go 0 for 18 on third down conversions in a game, and then you put Tua in for the last drive of the game, and he gets a third down conversion. That says something by itself.
We got
And I
garbage
understand.
time.
2 minutes left in the game. 24-0.
Okay, so
Okay,
what happens
so
when
what
it
was
was 20
Fitz's
Yeah.
excuse for the rest of the game on third
Yeah.
down?
What is the
He
excuse?
still scored 3
It
touchdowns.
wasn't like
the
he's
job
facing the
done.
Steelers.
He got
He's facing the
job
Jets.
done.
He can
Okay.
do it. I don't.
Listen,
Tua has no experience in the league. I don't care. He played 2
That's why
minutes
he's a rookie.
against the-
Okay, so let's
Yeah.
talk about what
Okay.
are the Dolphins' goals for the season? Are they trying to make the playoffs, or are they trying to just rebuild for next year? They're trying to
I
make the playoffs,
feel like
right?
last year was a rebuild.
So this year they're trying to make the playoffs.
Look,
correct?
no one had the Dolphins going to the playoffs before the season started.
You're
They're
right,
3-3 now. They're a
Yeah.
game out of the 7th seed. They have a better shot than the Patriots right now
That's
to
not
get the
true.
wild card.
Yeah.
That is mathematically true.
Mathematically, due to math, which we all know Riley's not that good.
First of all, the Patriots have played less games. They've played less
Dolphins
games.
have a better
True.
shot
After this week, we'll see.
at going to the playoffs than the Patriots right now. That's undeniable.
If the
I feel
Dolphins
like you
lose-
throw in Tua. Worst case scenario, you don't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
Right? Like you met everyone's expectations. Actually, you might have exceeded them with how good the defense has been playing. Best case scenario, you make the playoffs with Tua. Like I don't see a downside to this.
You ride with the guy who you drafted in the top 5. That's how it works. That's what the other teams are doing. We're not saying anything about Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow.
Because Justin Herbert has been balling.
And Tyrod Taylor is the other alternative.
Listen, I don't think that Tua is going to go, as Jake very impressively put it, Tua and 8. All right? I don't think that's going to happen.
That's a fantastic joke. Okay?
I don't think that's going to happen.
good.
I think the floor for this team is 7-9, and I think the ceiling is 10-6.
That's a little
And
high.
regardless,
10-6.
That's a little high.
7-9. Okay, fine.
I thought
6 and
I was
10.
biased. I thought I was biased.
10-6. That's a very high.
Okay.
Wow.
No, well, if they go 5-11, that's going 2-8 the rest of the season. I think that they can
You know
go
what? I think
4-6. I don't think that that's a crazy
Yeah.
estimate for what they've been doing.
I guess
I
the
think-
ceiling for the Eagles is 11-4-1 then, because like they're just gonna go undefeated the rest of the year.
The
They're not
Dolphins
gonna-
would absolutely destroy the Giants right now. No question about it.
Okay.
Okay.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
take a Boston
Giants.
Scott
Anyway,
miracle
wait.
to beat the New York Giants.
He's shorter than all of us, I'm pretty sure. But,
No, I'm as high.
yeah.
I'm as high. I'm Boston Scott.
Oh, okay. No, I'm probably him there too, because he's like 5'6", 5'7", so
Yeah.
I'm like around there.
More of
But
like a
anyways,
Christian
enough about-
McCaffrey. Yeah.
Enough
Okay,
about Boston
okay.
Scott. Enough about Boston Scott. If they really are trying to make the playoffs this year, why not ride out Fitz at least until he starts playing badly?
You mean like
the,
against
the
the
Jets?
Jets?
The Jets game, he did not play horribly though. You know?
No, he did.
If he
It
played
was
horribly,
It was pretty
absolutely.
bad.
Bench him. Go
It was
to.
bad.
They won
Also,
24-0.
Here's the
Yes,
biggest.
That's
that
his
is a
defense.
team score, man.
That's a
Ryan
Here is-
Fitzpatrick was not good in that game.
Here is the
No,
biggest risk for me with playing Tua. Not even so. You're right. If the
You wanna
best
talk
case
about
scenario, they make the
injuries?
playoffs.
Are you gonna talk about injuries?
Best case scenario, they make the playoffs. Worst
Okay,
case
okay.
scenario, they don't make playoffs, get a good pick, and rebuild, right?
And Tua gets injured.
Or worst case scenario, Tua gets hurt. Okay, that is like a disaster scenario for the Dolphins. Okay,
I'd agree with you, except the O-line has been playing much better than it has
And
in
also-
recent years.
He's a year out from that injury. I don't know how much longer you can sit him.
Yeah. Like we
Mahomes
can't
sat
just go
for
the
an entire
rest of
year.
his career
That's fine.
like being
Alex
like,
Smith
oh, he
took
had
them
that
to the
one injury in
playoffs.
college. Like, no.
yeah, Fitz can take him to the playoffs.
No,
the
he
way he's
can't.
playing right now.
No, he
Yes,
can't.
he can.
He's
Oh my
playing
Don't
goodness.
let
at a
90%
C?
completion rate against the Jacksonville Jaguars confuse you. Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Wait. That's a really good stat.
Yeah.
Riley,
That's
it
a
is.
really good
Against the
He's saying-
Jacksonville
he's saying don't let
the
that
Jaguars.
team who
confuse
you
you.
predicted to go 0-16
Okay, they beat the Colts.
in
The
week
Jags.
1.
That wasn't week 1.
They've gone 0-5
That was in week
since.
1, Riley.
They still won.
I was the one who was
If
saying
we
that
were
the
going
Jags
on
looked
week 1
impressive.
alone, the Cowboys would be in the Super Bowl right now.
Listen,
We're
I
not
don't
going
understand.
on week 1 alone.
Exactly,
I just
so
don't
don't.
understand this bench.
The Jaguars
I
are
just
not a
don't
good
understand.
team.
No, they're not.
I
It's
just
not impressive.
don't get. I just don't understand the logic.
The Cowboys
Listen,
lost
the
week
only
1.
Especially
reason-
if Fitz was like willing to give up this spot, like you know what, it's to a time, let's go. But he
So-
wasn't. You just blindsided him with this.
So
That's
because
terrible. I hate
because
that.
Fitz
I hate,
wants to keep
listen,
playing, we
I'm
can't
hurt.
hurt
He's such a
I'm
nice
hurt.
guy.
I'm hurt for Fitz, man.
He is.
Me
I'm
too.
upset.
Okay. Yes.
I'm so upset
You know
for
who
Fitz,
else
man.
is a nice guy? Eli Manning. I'm not starting him over probably most QBs in the league right now.
Daniel Jones. Sorry.
They're starting over.
Fine.
Danny falls over
Sure.
and
Yeah.
trips on an 80-yard
Over
run.
Carson Wentz, yeah, fine.
Oh my gosh.
This is the point that I like about what you said. Fitz is the leader of the team right now, and I think that is where it could take the biggest hit. I don't think from
Yes.
playing on the field, it's going to be that big of a hit. I think if you lose the locker room, if you lose the next 2 games, which are not easy games,
It's gonna be tough.
I will say.
It's gonna be
I will
hard
say,
to rebound
It's
from
not
that.
easy. It's going to be hard.
Rams and who's the next week?
Cardinals.
Matchup after that?
Cardinals.
Oof, that's tough. I mean,
Those
if
are
Tua
hard
loses
games.
0-2, then everyone starts to think, oh, would Fitz have done better?
Oh, and
then
Tua.
things can spiral down.
Stop. No,
We gotta keep
however,
this going. This is amazing.
I don't think that we're going to see that big of a drop-off. I think, sure, the first week, you put him in, he's playing Aaron Donald. He's a rookie. First game. If they lose, I wouldn't be surprised. There's some growing pains that come.
So
But you play him. No, because there's no better time to play Tua than right now.
How many years in
put
the
him in.
future do you think Fitz is going to play for the Dolphins? Like, keep them competitive.
Just like let him do this
year?
season.
No.
Yeah.
Answer me that, please.
This year. This is all.
Okay, wait.
That's all
This
he
year.
needs.
That's
Is this a Super Bowl year? Is this a Super Bowl year?
No, but if they're really trying to make
okay,
a
Who is going to
So
be the
then
guy
why?
going
Best
forward
option.
for the Dolphins,
why?
right? Like, he's their
Because-
franchise guy going forward.
Yes.
You got to give him his first team reps at some point. Like, I'm sorry, you can't just throw him in next year blind and
So
be
you're
like,
so
this
you're
is your
okay
team.
with say throwing the season, and
I'm not
and
saying throwing the season. If it were
So why
throwing,
not
like,
start him with the Jets?
if Tua is just going to throw the season away,
It's a
I'd
very
say
good
keep
point. Why
Fitz
not
in.
start him against the Jets? I'm
Because you
worried
have a bye week
to,
right now.
against these first
I
two
think it's fine.
matchups. I'm worried.
So
I
it's
think
true
Fitz
it's off
was
the bye,
playing
but-
fine until he got to the Jets.
you know
and
what?
then
Let's
he put up a
not
mediocre performance.
start the rookie against the Jets. Let's start him against Aaron Donald. I think that'll be a smart idea. I think that's a good choice. Like
Sometimes
What?
to teach someone how to swim, you just gotta throw him into the deep end.
let's get him
Where
injured.
Aaron Donald is waiting.
Let's get him injured so he knows what the NFL's
For a
like.
shark is waiting for them to
Okay.
eat him up.
Also, why aren't we talking about the fact that if Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't make the playoffs, it's even more of a waste of a year? If they go 8-8 and they don't make the playoffs, you waste a whole year of Tua, and you get a bad draft pick, and there's no point in playing this season.
Exactly.
Well, that's saying they're going
You
to
didn't make
go
the playoffs.
8-8.
You didn't get a high draft pick, and Tua never got like his chance,
Reps.
like
Exactly.
to develop. Yeah,
You don't need to play a rookie quarterback in his first year. You do realize that, right? There's no
you don't
need.
need to. But if
You
you
can
want
play
him
him
to
the
be a
second year
franchise
and
guy
just go
going
with it.
forward, he
You
should
can't
get
use
as
Patrick
many reps
Mahomes as an
possible.
example. Tell me
Why?
another quarterback that sat for an entire
Why?
year. Tell me another quarterback that sat
Listen,
for an entire
the
year.
Alex Smith and Fitzpatrick comparison is different. Alex Smith was obviously still a very competitive quarterback at that time, and he
Correct.
brought him to the playoffs.
I believe they
But
went
what's-
11-5, right?
Fitz
I
isn't
don't
taking him to the playoffs.
I don't know.
I
But
think
here's
they're
the
not
thing,
taking
right?
him to the playoffs.
So if Fitz doesn't take him to the playoffs, I don't think that's a wasted year. I don't think that's a wasted year at all. I think Tua has sat behind him. He's seen how he's played, and he gets ready next year, and he goes. He goes
By
with it
that
next year.
same comparison, I could start for the Dolphins next year because I've watched Fitz play.
Well,
Like I can see him play.
Oh,
Wow,
The
it's
difference,
nice.
the
Oh my
difference.
You're like
God.
saying Fitz is ditching the team and he's not going to mentor Tua even though he's still on the bench. It's just added
He might.
experience.
He might
He's
not
not
be.
gonna
He
lead the
might.
team.
Fitz is not a
Not
hot
gonna-
commodity. Unless you're the New York Giants, you are not looking at Fitz and being like, I want to trade for that guy.
Instead of the
Yeah,
Dallas
and
Cowboys.
they might.
Dallas Cowboys might need him right now.
Riley, would you give up a third-round pick to get Fitz?
on the Dallas Cowboys?
No.
Think about it.
If
If
I'm
you're the
Dallas,
Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Not
Really?
third round,
No,
fourth,
Fitz
Riley-
is that much
Riley.
better than Andy Dalton. Really?
Like that
Wait a
much
minute.
better.
We'll
like
see.
the
No.
We
space
shall see.
between
No, I
Fitz
wouldn't
and
do it.
Andy Dalton is a
No.
third-round pick.
no. If I'm the
No,
Giants,
no.
I would. I might. If I'm the Giants. If I'm from the Jets.
The Giants. This season is
The
over for the Giants.
Jets?
Let's not.
The
Jets?
smartest thing the Jets can do is trade a third for Fitz so that they can get just him for
The
the season.
smartest thing for the
That's
Jets
a
to do
horrendous idea,
is to
Riley.
is to
Riley,
keep
I'm off
Sam
board.
Darnold,
I'm off board,
give
man.
up a pick.
No,
for
I meant the
Fitz and
opposite.
draft Trevor Lawrence. Like
Yeah,
have a new
I meant
quarterback.
trade away.
That's
I
what
meant
I did.
trade away Donald. That's what I meant to say.
Trade Darnold for Fitz.
No. Trade away Darnold for like draft picks. I mean, that's what I meant. Don't give Fitz. The Jets don't want Fitz.
Thank you. Why did you say that?
Oh my
I
God.
was confused.
What's
I was
happening?
confused.
What's
He
happening?
was confused,
This episode
guys.
has gone down.
Yeah.
I think this is a good place to end it.
Yeah,
Just because
so-
I don't
Yeah.
like where this is going.
So guys, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed the episode. It got kind of crazy. Let us know what you think because games are coming up, and I think it's gonna be awesome. So make sure to follow us on Twitter at TreyVlogSport and Instagram at TreyVlogPodcast. And make sure to check out our YouTube because then you can see us. That's also a TreyVlog Podcast. All right.